Is this?
One year down and we're still here, bringing news with a laugh and a little cheer. Catty, Connie, and loudmouth Linda, keeping it real, no agenda. Satire, truth, and a whole lot of fun. Politics, crime, we get it all done. From breaking news to a joke or two, we do it our way just for you. We just can't make this stuff up. 1 year strong and we ain't gonna stop. Mic in hand, voices loud, shouting truth, making you proud.
Hello.
Hello, my friends. How's everybody? Praise good. You're good.
I'm good.
How was your Mother's Day? Was it good?
It was nice and relaxing. We ordered Chinese food, so nobody had to cook.
Well, I cooked, but yeah, that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
I cooked for my mom, so yeah, that was
Yeah.
the Mother's Day thing. So
Well, there's
So I
also
did.
there's a Mediterranean restaurant next door to the Chinese restaurant. So my mom and my two daughter-in-laws ordered salads from the Mediterranean, and then me and the boys all had Chinese, or the boys and I, whatever. My four boys.
Yum. Yum,
Mhm.
yum, yum.
Yeah, we got, and it was like this one ordered this and this and this, and there was enough for everybody to share everything. So we ordered a General Tao's chicken, a boneless almond chicken, a pepper steak, and beef and broccoli.
I like General Tao's chicken
Yeah,
a lot.
that is my two grandsons and my younger son's favorite.
I really, 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 really.
Mhm. But my older son and his family, hi, Kim. My older son and his family, they eat everything. They eat Thai, they eat Mediterranean, you name it, they'll eat it. They'll try it. And and obviously if they like it, they keep eating it. But I mean, even the boys, they eat shawarma, they eat lamb,
What
they
is
eat
shawarma?
it's where they put that meat on a stick and then roast it, and then they slice it off with a big knife.
Oh, those restaurants do that.
Yeah, and it's Lebanese, I think. Don't quote me, but I think it's Lebanese.
I went to a restaurant and they came by with a skewer of different meat all the time and asked you if you wanted some.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, it is really good, but
Awesome.
I can't handle some of those spices from the different cultures. So, and they do. They eat the spices. Hi, Norm.
Hi, Norm. I hope everybody had a happy Mother's Day, happy belated Mother's Day. I was going to get on last night and I was going to wish y'all a happy Mother's Day. And then I thought, do I want to do that and spoil their Mother's Day? Nah, I'll just let them have the night off.
Yeah.
So I sat and watched movies. I ended up watching the end of Ghosts.
Oh, did you?
That is so good. That series is so good. I want you guys to go see if you get a chance. It's on Paramount Plus and it's called Ghosts, and it is so funny. There's not anything scary. It's extremely humorous.
It is funny. It's a funny show.
Oh no, actually, Norm, I was like thinking, maybe they need a night away. So I've been talking with Linda and I said, there's a couple things I'd like to do, and we're going to see how I can get it accomplished. One of them is I'd like to go to the beach, take y'all to the beach. So I'm thinking about how I can she can manpower it from here, and I can go out to the beach and stream from out there. So once we figure it out, it'll be fun. Maybe
Right.
during a hurricane. Remember Geraldo when he was in that hurricane? And he was out there. The wind is blowing so hard.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
thought you were
Right.
over here.
Mhm.
What are you doing out there playing weatherman?
Right.
Like Jim Cantori. Yep. Yep. I'm going to tell you, when they said Harvey, they said, Jim Cantori is down at the beach. And I thought, oh no, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign at all when Jim Cantori's in your neighborhood. No, don't go there. Well, guys, today has been a very eventful day. I have sat and done nothing but listen to the first day of Diddy trial. Wow. That's all I can say. Wow. For the first day. And they're saying that this thing may be 4 months old. It may take 4 months for this whole trial to go. And I'm like,
Well, I believe it. They got to have a ton of witnesses by now.
well, the information on day one was pretty alarming. Real alarming.
I think he's pretty much just screwed.
Yeah, I think we might as well call that toast. Although, they could have a mistrial. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
He could get a mistrial because there's no one of color on the jury. And that's, of course, that's how Bill Cosby got off.
The first time.
But what I did find to be rather interesting that I got to share with you that I thought was really funny was, do you know why he did what he did? All of his freak offs and everything was because it was all about love.
Okay.
He said it was all about love.
And beating Cassie's ass in a hotel is all about love.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you that one. Let me tell you about that one. That one's really interesting. So the tape that we saw on the Cassie knockdown drag out in the hallway, the whole deal was the security came when that was going on, and he came to her defense. And she told him all she wanted was her phone, her purse, and she wanted to leave. And the security told him she just wants to leave. And Diddy said, you're not going anywhere. So Diddy offered this man $100,000 to erase and get rid of that security camera footage. And the guy wouldn't take it. He just wouldn't take it. So what he did do is he went down into the security room or whatever, and he recorded off of his phone. He had 2 phones, and he recorded 2 copies of that videotape.
I'm wondering if he's got put into the witness protection program.
He sat on that video for 10 years. He never showed it to him. I'm sure he showed it to his wife, but he didn't just show it around or whatever.
Right.
And when it came to needing it for evidence, he popped up with this video. He gave it to CNN. He never charged a dime for it. He never made any money on this video at all. And you should have heard, it's not live, so we can't watch it live. But
Right.
they were reading off of the transcripts. they couldn't find anything wrong with this guy. They wanted to find something wrong with this guy so that they would have some kind of evidence against him to make him look bad so they wouldn't believe him.
Incredible.
Yep. And you know what? They couldn't find a thing. They couldn't find a thing. The faster they could get him off of the bench, the better. They were like,
right.
I mean, some of the things these guys were asking, the defense was asking the questions. I was like, what? Right. They had one of the sex workers there, and he was testifying. And one of the questions that the defense asked was, and what position were you in? What does that have to do with anything? So the guy goes, are you for real? Well, we were in the missionary position, and I thought, oh my God, what has that got to do with anything? But there was some real gray hair turning things that I heard that I wouldn't even. Let me just say this. The man is sicker than you think. Okay? And money was no object. And the nasty things he had these poor women do and go through, he needs to be underneath the jail.
Right.
That's all I got to say. And I just don't. Right. Mark Garagos's daughter is the one that is his defense, one of his defense attorneys. Because he felt like having a female attorney would really help him out.
Ah, okay.
And she's the one that got up and said, it's all about love. Everything was about love. He loved
and it's all about her paycheck.
Right? Right? I mean, how do you... Yeah.
That's disgusting. He's just a pig. Just a pig. And anybody that participated in any of that way, shape, or form, they're just pigs. And I really believe this is going to be the downfall of Hollywood.
Yeah, he's going to, if it were on the first day they went, I mean, I expected the opening statements, and then I figured this is it. It's done. It's over. They'll bring out the real trial tomorrow. No, prosecution went right after the jugular vein right out of the gate. And I'm like, well, this is going to be really interesting because it's gotten vile right now. I mean, vile. The man was, and you know what was really weird was he really didn't want to participate that much. He just wanted to watch. Now you tell me what a sick mind that is.
I don't know. I could never understand, because I mean, you hear about that, but I could never understand those people that just want to sit there and watch. I don't get it. I just don't understand. You know, it makes no sense to me.
He's like, I didn't do anything. I didn't hurt anybody. I just
really
watched. Really? You paid people to do this. Right. So you are just as guilty, if not worse. But don't look up Hulkamania now. Just so y'all know, just a trigger warning. Don't look up Hulkamania because Hulkamania means something different to me. Hey, Theodore. Hulkamania means something totally different to me, and I'm sure to you, Linda, than it means in the Diddyverse. So don't look it up. When they brought it out, I thought, oh, I know all about Hulkamania. Oh, I don't know about that. You know where you kind of feel like the little kid in the church and you go, I know. No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me just crawl under my seat right now.
right. I just don't ask me anything about Hulkamania now because it's. I guess to put it in a nice way, Hulkamania now is a company that hires sex workers, male sex workers. And this is where Diddy would reach out to get his participants, some of his participants. So,
You know, and that brings me to another question, and maybe this is just like so off the wall, I shouldn't be asking it. But what kind of man would want to watch another man unless they were interested in men? I can't. I mean, I can't see it. I remember one time, long time ago, my ex husband used to want to watch porn, and he would go when Blockbuster was there. So one Friday, the kids weren't going to be home, and I went and got two male porn. Hmm. And I said, "Look, I brought home a video."
how do you like those? You like that?
He didn't like that very much.
I
He's
bet
like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "That's how I feel about that other crap.
Right?
I don't want to watch it."
Well, rumor has it that that's what Little Richard was. He was not a participator. He was a watcher.
Hmm.
And one of the women that is going to testify in court, I can't remember her name. It slays me because it so much came out today. It was unbelievable. But Diddy had her as a girlfriend. She was a girlfriend, and then that's how he lured him in. And then he said, "Now I like to do these things. They're called freak offs." And she's like, "What?" Well, this is after he's already told her how much he cares about her and yada yada yada, whatever, cult leader. And so she thought the only way to keep him was, and it was only going to be one time. She was going to participate only one time. Well, that wasn't the truth. He just lured her in and wrapped her all up in a nice little bow. And she said she got to the point that she had to take ecstasy just to perform. It was awful. It was awful.
And I think that, I mean, if you think about it, I don't want to, most women of the night, okay, we'll do that.
Yes.
Most women of the night do drugs because that's the only way they can get through it.
Right. Right. Well, and that's why
I could never see myself being with 3, 4, 5, 10 men a night. I couldn't see myself doing that. And weirdos and freaks out there, yeah, no, you're not doing that. I don't care if you're paying me $1 million. I'm not doing that.
No. It's unbelievable. It's yeah, it's something to wrap your head around where on earth these people are coming from and where they think that they have. I mean, this is pure demonic and satanic. It's got to come from the devil and nowhere else, because you don't beat people and there's not, in the Diddy verse that he says it's all about love. No, there wasn't anything that even resembled the definition I have for love anywhere in there.
Right.
What? Hello, Wolfie, my friend. We're talking about Diddy. His trial started. He hired people to do these things while he watched. That's why he laced all the baby oil. He told somebody, "You don't have enough baby oil on. You don't have enough baby oil on," knowing good and well that all of that was tainted. And this is just,
right.
and here's the thing, Linda. You can bet that this is the easy part today.
Oh yeah. Can you
I mean-
imagine? I mean, can you really imagine what's going to come out? I mean, it's probably stuff that we could never even be on that level to think of doing.
No. I mean,
We're just not perverted, to come up with this off the wall crap. Who knows? But it's all sick.
yeah, she does testify tomorrow, and that's going to be incredible because they gave her an opening. I mean, she really doesn't even have to say too much. His goose is cooked. Honestly, guys, yeah, I am. Well, I'm not watching it because they're not doing it live, but I'm listening to it because they're reading all the documents, but live time. But I don't.
Did they did they read all his charges that was against him?
They're saying that it's a RICO case, definitely a RICO case. But it was opening statements, and of course, they came in saying, you can't accuse a man of doing all of this stuff because he's just a player. This is what one of the attorneys said. He's just kind of basically a player. He cheats on his girlfriends or whatever, but that's not illegal. Well, one of the male sex workers that he had hired had said Diddy told him that this is what he does, that this is his business, that this is what he does. And he testified today that that's what he does. That Diddy told him this is what he does. I never heard an intelligent question come out of the defense team today. Not one intelligent question.
Well, I mean, they're probably just going through the motion to get the money. They know he's guilty. Everybody knows he's guilty.
Right.
Because by them saying, oh, yeah, sure, he cheats on his girlfriends, you're making him look even worse. I'm sorry, but in my opinion, that makes him look not really good as a man.
Well,
sure, he cheats. Sure, he's a player. Like, it's okay. Everybody out there, it's okay.
Well, the attorney even said he's a jerk. He's a butthole and he's a jerk. And we all know that. But that's not illegal. And I'm like, well, being a jerk is one thing, but he should have taken the plea. I mean, he should have looked.
There's some things that he did, I'm sure, is illegal. I'm sure.
Well,
is illegal.
Having those guns that the serial numbers are taken off of is illegal. Period. That in itself is illegal.
Right. And, by feeding drugs to somebody and having sex with them, that's illegal.
That's illegal too. That's right. That's right.
So.
And like I said, this is just the beginning because I'm sure they've got a heck of a lot more that we're getting ready to find out about. The
I
only
didn't,
question, go ahead.
I didn't know that there was a plea on the table for him.
There was a plea on the table for him, and he denied it. Well, okay, here's the thing. They offered him a plea, and it was so many years in prison.
Mm-hmm.
And he's 50, 55. He's 55
Yeah.
right now. You might as well give him life because he's not going to get out. His plea was quite a few years.
Yeah.
I think it was 30 years. Well, that puts him at
See, usually when they
85.
throw a plea in like that, usually it includes parole. And otherwise he can get charged with life, no parole.
Well, I think he just got himself in trouble, and I think he's getting ready to get a lot more than he wants to deal with. I think the whole thing is he didn't take the plea because he thinks he can get off, just
Well,
because he
yeah,
is who he is.
because and also because he thinks he did no wrong. Because that's what sick people think. What did I do so wrong? I had parties for my friends.
And your friends don't even know they're at that party.
Right.
I mean, I'm sorry. Who wants to go to a party where you don't know you're really there? So back to this tape. This tape was really interesting. This man sat on this videotape for 10 years. Never got a dime off of it. Never showed that he had it. He sat on it for 10 years. There is no defense, KMM. It's unbelievable. But my thing is, why didn't he take it to the cops? He was a security guard, but why didn't he take it to the cops? Why did you sit on it?
I think he was going to try and blackmail him or something with it. Maybe.
Well, he offered him. Did he offered him $100K for it?
Right. But that's not enough.
If he, you know what, if Diddy knew, he would have said, I'll give you 10 million for it, because that's going to be a big part of the trial right there. You know what, Theodore, I think you're right. I think it all had to do with this little girl right here. Do you know when all of that was happening? I did not realize that Cassie was only 19. Cassie was only 19 years old when he was dragging her down the hall doing that to her.
Right.
And they said that they dragged her. What was that? The security guard, that one security guard that he had that's always talking all the time. He said that Cassie told him that he dragged her by her face. So did he have her like this? Did he have her like this? But he dragged her by her face back in there. The man is demonic, and he needs to spend the rest of his life in prison. I'm sorry. I just can't wrap my head around doing people like that.
Yeah.
I can't. And there's a lot of them out there that probably get away with it that shouldn't either.
Right.
It's a sad, sad world that we live in.
It is.
And you know, and we were warned. The Bible warned us about that crazy stuff was going to happen. But I didn't expect this. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. I mean, it's so beyond disgusting. I don't even know of a word for exactly what I think of it. Because it's just beyond disgusting.
The prosecution even brought up Kim. And they were saying
His what?
Kim Porter, that's the mother of his kids that died of pneumonia.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they're looking into that. I heard they were looking into her death, bringing that back up.
Hey, past profile pictures of Apple came in funny, but Apple had that as Discord profile picture before. Which one? Mine? My background? Um, yeah, I don't I just I don't even know what to say because I don't know what kind of mentality goes there. It just reminds me of that movie. It just reminds me of that movie that Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman did. Remember when they
Eyes
walked
wide
into,
shut.
yeah. Yeah, I thought you don't even know what you're getting into.
Right.
You go and you become friends with people and I mean, I'm at the point now that if I don't know you very well, I'm gonna do a background check. No, I'm not gonna do a background check, but you're definitely gonna go through an interview.
Right. Right. Well, what about that other Tom Cruise movie, The Firm?
I never saw The Firm.
Oh, you need to watch that.
He was like that there too.
The Firm was like robe wearing, Satanistic. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know about this one. Do you know about that, Linda?
I'm not sure if they did. I'm not sure.
But I do know that they said that Cassie was extremely. They said she was extremely jealous of Kim Porter, and that she was at Kim Porter's bedside when she passed. That's kind of fishy, but of course we're just hearing all the evidence right now. I don't know if Cassie was really all that jealous of Kim Porter. I bet you
I
there
don't
was a
really think she
time.
had anything to be jealous about.
Well, I'm sure there was a point in her life that she would have said, Kim, you can have him come get him, please. I don't want no part of this.
Right.
See, I think that's more of the real truth there, that they were friends. And she probably didn't want Kim to have to go through. Well, Kim had probably gone through enough. She didn't want a part of it either. You know? I mean,
It makes you wonder if Cassie really did go to Kim before she died. If I don't know the time frame.
they did say that Cassie was on her bedside when Kim passed. That she went and saw her. But they were friends. And Cassie probably thought, I'll just take the heat for you or whatever. You've been through enough, or maybe we can pass him on to somebody else. He's got so many. I mean, gosh,
Right.
dog, I just, my brain doesn't think like that.
No.
And I don't know anyone's brain that does think like that. No, I'm talking about Kim Porter, Diddy's wife, the mother of his kids,
Right.
that passed away. She passed away of pneumonia, which, by the way, is one of the ways you pass away if you take too much stuff. I mean, who knows what Diddy did to her? You know what? I don't want to go there. I don't want to think that, but with things that I heard today, I think he's capable of anything. I mean, I don't think the man has a conscience.
I don't think he does.
He
I don't
couldn't.
think he does.
He couldn't.
He just seems to me like he's just such an arrogant narcissist. Like, you can't touch me. Like, he's on the level of, like, say, Frank Sinatra. Like, you can't touch me. You know what I'm saying? As far as his mental, because Frank Sinatra, you couldn't touch him. So he probably thinks he's this big mogul in his mind.
Yeah, in his mind.
Right. In his mind is what I'm saying.
Right.
He probably thinks he's untouchable. I'm Diddy. You know. Well, he should have learned, you know, he should have learned from Bill Cosby.
Or anyone else, for that matter.
Harvey Weinstein.
Right. Well, and he's out too now, isn't he? Weinstein.
Last I heard, he was really sick.
Oh, he is sick, but I thought that for some reason, I thought I heard he got out too. I'm telling you,
I'm not sure.
I think there's a little bit more to what's going on with Diddy right now. I think he's got a few skeletons literally in his closet.
I think
that's all going to come out too. Just saying. It's going to be interesting on exactly who is going to get up and testify. And it's like you said, it's gonna put a damper on Hollywood. And maybe, just maybe, they'll turn their ways around. They'll see their wicked ways. And listen, guys.
All you can do is pray and hope.
Do you think this started because he
peed off the liquor company?
I'm going to tell you, Woofy, in my own personal opinion, I think Diddy was a little sick before even that happened, before he even got into the liquor company. And I don't think he's going to change. And I think he's got a sick taste for different things. I think he's demonic is what
I think it started when he started his clothesline.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. I do.
And
it's the way he carried himself. And I'm sorry for saying it this way, but it's like, my shit don't stink.
Well, he's always kind of felt that way.
Right. That's what I'm saying. The most narcissistic, arrogant person.
He's a narcissist. He is book text narcissist.
Mm-hmm.
And he believes, I'm going to tell you, if you're ever around someone that you don't know very well, that can make you feel so good about yourself, and then the next thing they know, they twist it around and you think how good they are, and all of a sudden it's like, I'm going to do everything to make you happy. You're not happy with me? What can I do to make you happy with me? They start off with a loving, caring, and they reel you in, and then the next thing, it's all about them.
There is a limited series on Netflix, and my daughter-in-law turned it on when we got home last night, and I sat and I watched it, and it's only 4 parts, but they're all different stories, but it's called Worst Ex Ever.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, I couldn't, I looked at my daughter-in-law and I'm like, it's just hard to believe that somebody does that.
Some women put up with that, but they're belittled and beaten down so bad. One of a narcissist's favorite words to say is, no one else will love you like I love you. When you hear that,
right,
there's a red flag all over.
Yep.
The place. What do you mean no one's going to love me like you love me? What, you think that I'm unlovable and you're the only person in the world that's going to love me? Well, I got news for you. People like you come a dime a dozen. Now, see, that's me. That's me, because I was probably that girl that was like, oh, get out of here. That makes, if you love me that much, I'm scared, and I want to find somebody else that doesn't love me so much.
I go on actions. I don't go on words.
Right.
I've been told I love you way too many times.
Mm-hmm.
Way too many times. Oh, you mean the world to me. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Well, and like Wolfie said, and some of them are beaten down and scared so bad that they don't know which way's up or any way out.
Well, I mean, and people are disillusioned because I'll tell you what, I was pregnant with my younger son, and my ex took somebody out to dinner, and he's like, "What? We just went to eat."
Oh, and that didn't mean anything.
No, no, I just took her out to eat. But that's not a date? No. Oh, okay. But
Yeah.
I love you. Hmm.
Yeah, you're saying it so loud I can barely hear the words that you're saying.
Exactly. Exactly. And that really should have been like my 10th red flag. Really, it should have been.
I gotta tell you a little story here because I'm not much of a storyteller, but I'm going to tell this story because it was pretty funny. So Clyde and I did the same thing for a living for umpteen billion years, and we worked together a couple times. And one time we were working together, and he worked in the lab, and I worked up front. So I didn't have much. I never really had much to do with people in the lab. I knew them, but I really didn't hang out with them. And there was a girl back there, and she was always trying to pick up on him. Always trying to pick up on him. And I was oblivious to it all because you know what? I mean, I've always trusted him with everything. And so one day he came home and he said, you know, she asked me that while you're out of town, if I need any comforting, that she would come over and do that. I was like, oh, really?
Mhm.
And he said, I just looked at her and said, get out of here. He said, I wouldn't lose my family and my wife and my kids for you for anything. Well, Clyde's a good guy. I've been blessed. But they're out there, and I was in shock. And then I thought, you're going after a married man and his wife works right here?
You know why? Because they're safe.
Right, right,
They're safe.
right, right. They don't have to do the laundry. They don't have to clean the house. They don't have to take care of the kids. They can just go roll around in the hay, and that's that. And you can take me to dinner and you can buy me nice things, and that's all I want to be. No thanks.
Because there are women that are like that.
I would rather buy my own stuff and take my own stuff, take my own self to dinner. No thanks. No thanks. But you know, I mean, we've all been in that situation where you're married and somebody comes up and says something kind of off color to you, and you're like, what? You know I on the outside here I look stupid, but I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, and I get it. There was a guy one time that came in and he said, I know that you're young and you're having it kind of hard because you don't get paid that much. So I want to give you a tip. And he said, give me your hand. And he rolled it up and he stuck it in my hand. And he said, and I'll see you tomorrow. And he walked out the door and I opened up my hand. And guys, this was 35 years ago. And it was $100 bill. And I looked down at it and I thought, ooh, when he comes back tomorrow, I'll make sure he gets this back because he was an old, gross old man. I was like, gross, no thanks. Yeah. So when he came back, he asked for me so I could, touch his ears and adjust his glasses for him. And I said, I think you forgot something. Here, let me give this back to you. And he said, well, I'm sure. And I said, no, you're not. I don't want that. Have a nice life. And he was married. It's like, no, No thanks. Go away. So
Right.
he never did come back.
Right.
It's like, he said, I've got a bunch of those where those come from. I said, well, take this one back and put it with them. 'Cause I don't want that. Stack them all up. Stack them
Right.
all up, Scrooge McDuck. Scratch them. Get in there, count them, do whatever you're going to do to them because I don't want
Give
to
it
know.
to your wife because I'm sure she deserves it.
It is yuck.
Married to an ass like you.
Well, see, and I had to been like 23 years old, and he had to been like 65. And I was like, no, no. I mean, the thought was repulsive anyway. But, and he was married. That's even worse.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I said, take this. I wanted I had it all planned out, but I just couldn't get my mouth to say what I wanted to say. Here, take this and take your wife out to dinner. But I couldn't get my mouth to say it. I had the speech all planned out. And instead it just said, here, just take this back with you and have a nice life. Come on, Linda, you've had to have been in a situation like that.
A married man?
Uh-huh.
No. No, I've never had a married man come after me.
No, just you've never had him hit on you?
No.
Well, it's not that great. It's not like an experience that you want to write home about. It's like, oh no, thank you. Have a nice life.
I mean, I've had weirdos hit on me.
Well, and that can be just as bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is.
I mean, it's funny. We're funny people. When somebody that you just aren't interested, you missed all of the stories of my life, Seg. Guess what? It won't be anything you can hold against me. No, I'm just kidding. But welcome. Better late than never. The thing is, when somebody creepy, it doesn't matter what they look like. You just feel creepy. You can feel creepy inside. You just know that creepy. He's a creepy.
Yep.
It's a creepy feeling, and it just goes all down you, and you're like, no, I can walk myself home. No, I can walk myself to my car. I don't need you to go walk me.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? You just know it. You feel it inside, and the best thing is, once you feel it, you just don't ignore it.
Right. Yep.
Oh, Woofy. See, you know what? That guy wasn't right. He should have never done that.
Right.
I mean, that's one of those people that it's a I want my cake and eat it too. Yeah, no. But so in thinking about all of that, you can wrap that creepy feeling where your hair stands up on your arms and you get goosebumps all over you and you think, ew.
Yep.
You can wrap that in a little bow and give that to Diddy.
Right. Right.
Because don't you think he has those creepy vibes?
Oh, he does. He does. A lot of actors give me the creeps.
Tom
And,
Hanks.
music people, and they give me the creeps. Some of them.
Oh, good for you, Woofy. Good for you. You saved another woman from going through the same thing you went through. Maybe his wife left him and got smart.
Right.
I had a friend of mine that was dating a married man one time, and she stayed with him and she said he's gonna leave his wife. I said he's never gonna leave his wife. He's gonna leave his wife. And then the next thing I heard is his wife is sick. I said, yeah, I bet she is. You ever met her? I bet she's not. Well, I hung out with this girl for about 3 years, and she was with him all of these 3 years. And then she came to see me one day, and she was crying, and she said, "I ended it." I said, "Oh, was he not going to leave his wife?" Well, I got tired of waiting.
Wolfie, that's awesome.
That's awesome, Wolfie. I'm glad. You know, once a cheater, always a cheater, and you could saving somebody's heart from being totally destroyed is a good thing.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
it's just really too bad that when Clyde and I got married, the first thing I told him is I said, "Let's get something straight. Whatever you can do, I can do better. All I have to is just think it's happening, and I can do better."
Mm-hmm.
Not that I ever would have, but I just didn't want to go into a marriage with this. It's all good. We can do. No, no. When I take these vows, I mean it till death do us part. Whether you die of something,
Or I kill you.
or I find out you've done something and you take the last breath,
Yeah.
I truly mean till death do us part. No, Sag, you're right. There's some women out there that are, well, I see you missed my story. There was a woman after my husband, and I thought, what is wrong with you? You're giving women a bad name. But yes, there are. Yes, there are some women that are.
Well, and you know what? I think some of the times, both men and women, I think they, while they're still married, they're not happy and they try to find something else because they have a fear of being alone.
to fit the void.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I never wanted to be alone, but then after the crap I went through, it was like, you know what? Take me for what I am, or for, I'm not changing for anybody. I did that once. I changed. I did the way he wanted things done and did this and did that, and you know, never again. Never again. I was young and dumb.
Every time I think of Lorena Bobbitt, I think Lorena, or whatever, however you pronounce her name, I think of, he went to work for Snap on Tool. No.
He's
Seriously,
lucky he lived.
look at my face is turning red. Um, seriously, laying all jokes aside, they they found that and they put it back on, and he became a very wealthy man. Lorena Bobbitt made him a very wealthy man because he started doing porn,
Yep.
and many people went and watched his movies to see if it really worked. I mean, I'm just being honest.
Right. Right. They did.
He
They
did.
did.
He had it reattached.
Absolutely, she did. As a matter of fact, I used to live in the next city over from Manassas in Virginia. And not too long after all that happened. And do you know there was a marker there that
Where it got laid, where the dog ran off with it. I heard a dog
where
ran off with it. That's how they found
there was
it.
a marker there where they found it.
Yeah, he started making porn
Yeah,
with his reattached tool. And a lot of women
he
went.
must have had a damn good surgeon.
Well, I don't know if I still question if it ever really worked or if he had a pump or what the whole deal was. But a lot of people were curious. I never saw any of it.
I didn't either.
Honestly.
I was not
I
that
know. No, because Wolfie, I'm the type person that you put that stuff on and I sit there and I laugh And it's like, are you kidding me? Get out of here. This isn't going to ever happen. This is a joke. So, yeah, no. I didn't want to see him for sure. But they did. They had it reattached. And my dad said, well, he went to work for Snap-on Tool.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, I mean, he made big bucks. She made him a very wealthy man. A very, very wealthy man. Because they... What about the lady that super glued her husband's to his leg?
Oh, yeah.
She found out he was cheating, and she super glued his genital to his leg. Yeah, and I'm not sure what ever came out of that, but or if anything ever did.
Yeah, but there's stuff that takes super glue off.
Well, I'm sure that I heard a dog. I heard the way they found it was a dog had it. Because she did. She threw it out the window into a park, and then a dog came home with it. That's how they found it. And then, I mean, what do you do? Put an ad in the paper?
No, just the story from the news.
Right? It's like, okay. Found in park.
Right?
I
mean, can you imagine making that phone call? I found call the police department and say, I found a severed penis.
I know.
I couldn't do it. I'd be laughing too hard and they wouldn't take me seriously.
I don't know, Norm. But I mean, I'm with Linda. How do you? I'm sorry,
Seg. That's shitty, Seg. That is really shitty. Shame on her.
And you know what? That's awful. And I'm sorry to hear that because not all women are like that. I would have never, ever, ever. Clyde stuck with me forever. Right? How do you? Hello. Hi. I was walking my dog in the park. Yeah. And I found a man's penis. Do you think it might belong to somebody? Can I bring it to the police station and you can put it in the lost and found? I mean, yeah. I don't know.
I don't even know if I would have picked it up at that point. Like grab a plastic Ziploc bag or something. I mean, wow. Could you it's one of those things that is just hard to believe that it happened. No pun intended.
They did make. No, he was in porn, Royal Apple, after it was reattached. He did porn movies. Mm-hmm. And a lot of women tuned in to see if it really worked again after it was reattached. I don't know. I never saw any of them.
I never did either.
But
I wasn't just that curious to know.
I could have cared less because, know what? He did. From what I understand, he deserved it. But anyway, but maybe I guess when she called the police station, they might have said, well, we just had a domestic violence case and we had to pick a guy up and you have it with you? Well, we'll be right over to get it. Okay, I'll just stick it in the freezer.
Right.
Here for you.
Well, they always say if you lose a finger or something, sticking on ice.
Well, There you go.
Did you ever hear that?
It might
If you
have
ever
been-
lose a finger or a toe, they say to put it on ice.
No, she never. No, she never did go to prison. I think didn't she get off on self-defense?
I don't know. It's been so long.
I think that she got off on self-defense or insanity charges, temporary insanity. But no, she never went to prison over it. Hi guys, it's so good to see you, Paul. I'm glad you joined us. We were just
Hello.
talking about how the Bible does not talk about people like Diddy. You know what? Diddy's going to find the Lord on the jailhouse floor. Is what's going to happen to Diddy, because the man needs the Lord more than any person I've ever seen.
Yeah,
You know?
he did. Yeah.
He needs the Lord. He needs some Jesus in his life, because that man, you look at his face and it's just,
Something looks weird about his face.
oh yeah, and we talked about severed penises. But the Bobbitt case. But have you ever noticed that these serial killers and these people that are so demonic that you can look in their eyes and they're just black and they're just soulless?
Yeah.
It's like an empty window pane. And the windows are the eyes to the soul. I'm telling you, they are. People can lie on their facial. Well, I never could lie because my face told all, but the real good ones, just look at their eyes. And you can tell when somebody's lying to you.
Oh yeah.
And all of these guys are just like blank windows.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't even know if they can live with themselves.
Right.
The real truth is. So they just kind of check out or something. Their soul leaves their body or something, because
right.
Yeah, it's just
either one. It's one of two things with Diddy. I think it's the power and the money, and it just went to his head. He just allowed himself to get caught up and turn weird. But then again, we didn't know him. What was he like before he got into the music business and all of that?
Well, from what I understand, from looking into a little bit of it, his whole family they did things with each other.
Oh,
I mean, he did things with his mom too.
Well, yeah, that's right. I heard something about his
I heard something about, and it's not really, and actually, it's not even really his mother, it's his aunt.
Boy.
Oh, right. So, yeah, Diddy needs to find the Lord, and he needs to find it fast.
That's for sure.
Wolfie, do I believe he's unalived people? Absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind.
He may not have done it, but he had it done.
I really honestly believe that the night that J-Lo was carrying that pew-pew with her for him, that he used it and then gave it back to her. Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind. Sadly, I think that the man thinks he's above the law. And I think that he believes that whatever he did, he was entitled to.
And I believe he thought his money could get him out of it.
Yeah. And I've got news for you. My father used to tell me, you think and excuse the French here, but my dad was a mechanic, so whatever. But he used to say, you think you're a badass? Well, there's somebody always out there that's bigger and meaner and tougher than you. Think about that. He wasn't talking to me, but he was in general.
Yeah. Well, and true though.
And Diddy's going to find out when he goes to prison there's somebody bigger and meaner and tougher than him. And he's going to find that he's going to pass away unless he finds the Lord, he's going to pass away a very lonely, broke old man. He did. He shot and yes, he lived and told the police he shot her. See? She lived and told the police who shot her. Nothing happened to him. See, this is what I'm telling you. He's a hot mess. And, everybody, if you think you've ever gotten away with something, you haven't. And if you don't pay for it here, you're going to pay for it in the hereafter. But karma comes back, and your secrets are always told. So if you have any secrets, you might as well tell them now because,
right?
I mean, you don't have to. You can tell the good Lord, and He already knows.
Yeah, we want to hear your secrets.
Yeah, I don't have any. I'm an open book. Everybody knows everything. But I mean, it just Diddy's carrying a lot of skeletons. A lot of skeletons. And I wouldn't want to be that man. And he's gonna end up in the C block solitary confinement for a while. And can you imagine sitting in solitary confinement and having nothing to do but sit there and think about how wrong you've done people and the things that you've done and gotten away, thought you got away with? I mean, I'm sure there's going to be things that he's done that it's not going to come out.
I can tell you this much. I know somebody that they were in prison for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And they spent a good majority of that time in solitary because he was fighting and blah, 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 whatever. And he spends a good majority of time. He's been out for 3 years. And he is the most unsociable person. He doesn't want to be around people. Mm-hmm. He doesn't want to talk to anybody. Mm-hmm. He doesn't want to go anywhere. He doesn't want to do anything. Mm-hmm. It messes with your head bad.
It does.
Your head real bad. Really bad.
Yeah. Wolfie, I think there's going to be many, many, many hours that he's going to have to reflect on everything that he's done. And whether he has a come to Jesus meeting. I hope he does. Because he's a hot mess.
You know what, Wolfie? In my opinion, I think the only way he would sit and think about it is if he does find Jesus. Because other than that, he did no wrong.
He doesn't think, he believes that he's above the law. In fact, in his little tin head, he believes that he is right up there with God.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're in for a rude awakening. A very rude awakening.
Me too.
You need to get on your knees and ask for forgiveness for everything you did and really meet God, because that's your only saving grace.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he thinks he is, but you know what? He's going to find out he's not.
Right. No.
What does he have to lose? If he got on his knees and prayed, nothing, because he's a dead man walking right now.
Yeah, but you're right, Royal Apple. What does he have to lose? He's lost everything.
Yeah. He needs to get on his knees and pray.
Exactly.
Whoopi, there are a lot out there, but you know what? I'm going to tell you this, and I've heard this saying all my life. Jesus is found more on a jailhouse floor than he's ever found out in public.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're right. At that point, what do you have to lose?
Right.
And there's nowhere else to turn.
I mean, you're looking at never being outside of those walls.
Right.
So at this point, you better find something.
Yep. Yep.
because what you had didn't work for you, obviously.
Right. When all the money, when all the money and all the demonic stuff you did, and all of your sacrifices that you did, and all the people you bought and sold and did everything for, and all it comes to a screeching halt,
Yep.
and you have nothing,
Yep.
makes a person think a little bit different.
Yep. Exactly.
And I think the Lord's smart enough to know whether they're praying for the just to be just to save themselves.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure a lot of them do.
That they think.
They think, well, can't hurt.
He's too old to be rehabilitated, Woofy.
Yep.
He's too
Yep.
old. And and at this point, as old as he is, even if he got 30 years, which would be the minimum, he's already gone.
Yeah.
Because somebody is going to get a hold of him.
Yep.
When he gets in. Right now, do you know he's basically all by himself. And I think the guy next to him is the guy that Sam, the one that stole all the money and gave it, Burkhoff or whatever his name is. You know what I'm talking about? That did all of he was like Murdy. He was like Bernie Madoff, but he was Sam Bankman-Fried or whatever. Sam Bankman-Fried that stole all the money, and he's in the feds, and he's there with Diddy. The one, you know which one I'm talking about, the one that bought the mansion and they didn't have anything. He bought a mansion with stolen money and they never even put anything in it. It was trash when they found him, and what a mess. But he's the next door neighbor to Diddy right now. he's Diddy's neighbor. So yeah, it's a sad situation.
It is.
All right. Our time has come. I feel like Carol Burnett.
Yes.
It's time has come. How'd that song go? To have a laugh and sing the song. It seems like we just got started. Before you know it, it's time for us to say so long. I know. Look at what you know. But we're back here tomorrow, and Linda's a busy bee. So I'm going to see if I can't get on a little bit more this week so that I can keep everybody updated on this crazy Diddy story. Yeah, I mean, it's insanity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insanity, and I wouldn't want to be in his shoes. That I'll say. I'll go tomorrow with all the things that I've done wrong. That
Mm-hmm.
I'll meet my maker tomorrow with all the things I've done wrong. I wouldn't want to meet my maker if I were Diddy.
No.
That I will say.
Absolutely not.
All right. Love you all. We'll see you tomorrow, and I will have a little bit more updates.
Press the like on the way out.
Oh, press the like, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe.
Yes.
And we'll see you tomorrow.
Yep.
Love y'all. Take care.
Love you guys. Good night. Thanks for staying with us.
From shade